website, mohawkvalleyliving.com.
Traveling round the Mohawk Valley.
It's time for the Cooper Group's road trip to Inlet. We're traveling in a new 2006 Chevy Trailblazer, courtesy of Seaweaver Chevrolet. This one's available for lease for $279 a month. Richard tells us he discovered the Adirondacks on his honeymoon. While their plans were to vacation in Maine, they were taken with the Adirondacks and changed their plans. He claims it was the mountains and lakes, but maybe it was the donuts.
We're on our way to Inlet, and we drove by this one particular place, and I could not go by without stopping in. It's called the Donut Shop, and it takes me back some 37 years because my wife and I went to one of the great camps for our honeymoon. It was called the Mohawk, in a cottage called the Pawnee, and every morning we would come here at around 9 or 10 o'clock and have one of these unbelievable donuts. We're told today by the present owner that the recipe is still the same, and as has been the case for 40 years, they only make two varieties, and that's a plain donut and a cinnamon donut. I have one of the cinnamon donuts, and I'm going to try it to see if it's anything like what it was 37 years ago. Holy cow, is it ever?
Last year on our trip to the Adirondacks, we visited the Great Camp Sagamore. This year we discovered the fabulous estate of Alador.
I'm standing on the shore of Fourth Lake here in the Adirondacks. I'm standing in front of one of the great camps here in the Adirondacks. It's known as the Alador. It's owned by Tony, who originally is from Kansas, and Craig, who is originally from Nebraska. This place is unbelievable. It really is kind of incredible how we are interconnected here in the Mohawk Valley, and we're just one big family, because the two owners of the Alador, Tony and Craig, also own the Adirondack Cheese Store, which is right next to me in Clinton.
The Alador was built in 1928 by Colonel E.A. Simmons, who wanted a summer vacation home for his family away from his New York City publishing company. The home was named for his three daughters, Aline, Betty, and Doris. The main lodge has a large entrance hall, sweeping main staircase, and large living room overlooking Fourth Lake. There are stone fireplaces throughout this great camp, and the main fireplace in the living room is a massive structure 10 feet wide, composed of only 13 stones, all hammered by hand from one huge boulder found on the estate. The beautiful boathouse on the lake is a local landmark and is part of what attracted the current owners to the property.
I just came to see it one time. It's a beautiful area and fell in love with it, and ended up in Clinton also because of the Adirondack Cheese Store. We allow 8 weeks a year for groups to come in and rent. It's usually extended families, sometimes groups of friends, 20 to 25 people in general. And it's such a great place that we felt like it was important to share. And so we share the history, and we share it with those people, and then they take that and share it with other people, and it just seems the right thing to do.
You can learn more about the history of the Alador online at alador.com and on our website. The Alador brings people from all over the country to the town of Inlet, and the community welcomes them. Northern Lights has been a popular place for visitors and locals for generations.
When you're here in Inlet, right in the center of town is one of the landmarks known as Northern Lights. Just look for the very famous old sign, for one thing. It's next door to the town park, the Arrowhead Town Park, where there's a concert every Saturday night and a view that is absolutely out of this world of Fourth Lake. When you're here, be sure to get the homemade gelato. It is made fresh, and there are all sorts of flavors that you can order. As a matter of fact, they let you sample the different flavors to figure out which one you want to have. I'm having the Raffaello, which is white chocolate, coconut, and hazelnut. And let me see what this is like. Holy mackerel, it's worth the trip up here. It'll be a little bit of East Utica in Inlet and some wonderful, wonderful, decadent food.
Well, we are in Deerfield, and we have a place on the channel between 4th and 5th Lake, and this property came up for sale, and it seemed like a good idea. This is my second season. I actually had no idea I would ever end up in the ice cream business, but I went to an ice cream convention after I bought the property in Orlando, Florida, and tried gelato and decided that I have to have a whole new look for the store. So this store has always traditionally been soft serve and hard ice cream and like a grill, but after the convention I bought all the equipment with the help of the Adirondack Economic Development Corporation. And we make our gelato fresh daily. The whole family helps. My son is making gelato right now. My niece and the girls here are just wonderful. So we have a...
Are you going to retire here, so your plans are?
I don't think we'll ever leave Deerfield permanently, but we can retire here for the summer for sure, yeah.
Another local tradition and the perfect way to work off some of the ice cream and donuts is the weekly community bike rides, starting at and organized by Pedals and Petals.
The name with Pedals and Petals, it was just a combo idea that me and my wife came up with, and I was into biking, my wife was looking for something to do, and she was into the flowers, so we decided to open up a combo store and call it Pedals and Petals. Nice catchy name, and it's so far has worked for us great. We've been doing our community bike rides for about 5 years now, and we take different trails out every Wednesday and Sunday. We start at 9:30 in the morning, we meet at Pedals and Petals, and we leave by 10 a.m. Anybody can go on the bike rides. We get a lot of families that do it, and we generally pick trails that are easy to intermediate type trails, so that's geared for every type of rider.
Let's see what we can see. It's time for the Cooper Group's road trip.